Alright, alright. I'm definitely going insane. Hold up, let me just do this. Let me just do this, and then right, it's been quite some time since I'm touching this thing. Oh good, the indicator says that I am indeed online. It's very good. Oh, good. Yeah, I am indeed online. Now then display the chat right here. And then goes to YouTube. It seems I am getting quite rusty about this. Okay. It seems very good. Let me just oh wait. What? This is so small. Perfect. But maybe it could be a little bit smaller. Oh. Right. Sorry about the intrusion. It's just that it's been a while since I last streamed, so setting it up can be quite a bother, you know? But, well, here I go, I guess. Right. Everything is connected. Game audio is set. Game display is set. My microphone is all good, probably. So let's just begin before I change my mind. As usual. Good evening internet, my name is K401. I'm a PNGtuber on the run. Just call me K, it's much easier that way. And before that, that's better, much better. And this time around, I'm gonna go ahead and play LIMBUS COMPANY on the newest intervallo, twinin threads. It's been a long while since I last streamed, and it's been a long while as well since I played LIMBUS COMPANY, so I'm gonna be very rusty. It seems Sinclair, Gregor, and this sword, Arayashiki, they're going to the central stages. Funeral. Well, I suppose we are in need of a funeral service here in LIMBUS COMPANY, so alright, I completely forgot, but I need to expand the gate a little bit so that even my smallest voice can be heard. Right. Right. Testing 1, testing 2, testing 3. Right, it seems the microphone is all good, so maybe I could close the gate a little bit. Testing. Testing. Test. Right, I probably should have do the test before I press start streaming, but oh well. We'll just wing it like usual. Anyway, let's move on to the funeral. Alright, I got this idea. Wait, hold on. Testing? Testing? Alright, we're good enough, I think. A funeral was held for Martin and the LC researchers today. I think I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seems to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Marcel, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette. Wait, really? All manners of questions were oh right, of course. Of course, if there's anyone in LIMBUS Company who knows best about funeral process and etiquette, it would be Marcel. Of course, makes sense. Expressing respect is the primary purpose, and placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? I need the third pillar to the right. Can any of you quiet chattering for 1 second? Have you forgotten the instruction to carry yourself with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? She's not angry. That's surprising. Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry-ish, the wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzing out from page 30 onwards. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before, back when we set foot in that green manor in T-Corp? Don't even remind Hitler of that. Those speakers of the funeral held in young Hitler's manor, does that out? The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the UV Association authorization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou say, then there was no helping it. Proceed. Yet, it's a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. Poor Heathcliff. It's fine, Blockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, right? It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don Quixote, not Foss. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them, instead we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there is something that he and I realize, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. Poor Heathcliff. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Even Heathcliff running on a rampage, that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the whale. I assume that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, save only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. Seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Well, when people are dying every day like trash. Anyway, moving on. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant timeouts just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom make it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died. And after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone just like that. It must be the sweepers, isn't it? Well, better than paying lots of money to bury them somewhere just to have that stir up a lot of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried within the bodies. Or an arm being some fancy prostheses, all that rot. Better to let the dead go in peace and bury them in a grave just for some sauce later desecrated. I can understand that. In Hong Yuan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. How to use foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed, not their mendacity. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart or just something said to convince himself? I think it's the latter. Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few good goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with the crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now? Oh. We're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Tumbler's father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there is no cause for concern. Physically, there is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. So you won't be leaving just yet? Good to know. And I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Me? Yes, you. The LCU wants to look into the side you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second green lighting the project, which means that what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation than a request for a permission. Huh? What investigation? What are you? It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy, that's all there is to it. Of course, if you had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No, I'm not giving you my consent. It's nice to see he grew some spine. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. He had to get boss to fan out the LCS Mirror Observatorium department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first one to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go, so the least you could do to thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Yeah, just in time. Our researchers are here. Only some of the researchers were Bailing out of funeral hall after paying the respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking on my own. So just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was to offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. Poor guy. What about you? You not going with them? No, it's back to long-term recovery work for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that really my passion, but in the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that timeout fits the research project in my book, marginally. Enjoy while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTU submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. As soon as Elisa trudged off with her tracking steps, the researchers see Sinclair and whisk, "Get it, really?" Carried him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I could visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. That's something I said I'll help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything done too. The sinners find out in different directions. They seem to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing, huh? The only ones keeping me company now were Yoshu, who'd been filling the air around thick cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking at every corner for a Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts, of course. Moss was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Is she accessing the castle chef? You seem to have something to spare, manager. I stood here, wondering what I should do next to pass the time. Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over me. This makes things rather convenient. There is something I intended to discuss with you and Senator Ryoshu. A matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WOAAAH. CH. Wait a minute. Did you just step in as my interpreter? Oh. She never did that, isn't she? Never did that, right? It's not that I didn't appreciate her gesture. Especially since she would usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. Yeah, true. I mean, what kind of assistance, says Clockhead? There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a certain pause, though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his case was a certain someone who was busy pressuring LCC employees with a relentless questioning. Who else, pray, might know where he is if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bow. You there? Why don't you join us too? This now speak of me. The LCC personnel who were cornered by Don Quixote and a rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance. Good on you, LCC employees. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more wars to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon. You seek the amulet of virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? Ooh. For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you to a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be number 2, that is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who would call for aid. Pray, speak thy case. How may I be service of thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to senior number 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WOAAAH eluded mine understanding as well. Pretty, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Oh my god. Relay the manager's words, not scenarios. They are asking you what kind of assistance you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling with the present circumstances is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing, choice, and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Foss hopes that this was not some skillful scheme devised to elicit false cooperation. Oh. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I think that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Senior number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to House of Spiders right away? HOSRA, House of Spiders right away. You have assisted in that. Perhaps you could help us. Sure. I'll do that word for word. I first relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira. She has regained consciousness. So we'll be bringing Dawn for that. Survivor. Okay, hold on. I wonder how many nodes there are in this intervallo. The place Hohenheim led us to look less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. I mean, though every single medical equipment installed around seems to be the state of the art. This place looks well equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. And although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of our lower body. In the reconstruction process, while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, eh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room thick with sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, picking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look too much different from how she'd appeared when I'd seen her through the Sitter's shared vision. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of the extraction? It hasn't yet begun, actually. We are waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. And what are you even doing here? There is work to be done, contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. Wait, I gotta reset this again, am I? Hold on. Oh, no. It's nothing. And following a discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super briefly clear and a gold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help. Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He made her give her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room. It would have half the current members. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting, but with Kira it almost felt as if it traded the usual tone for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. And that doesn't as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live not after I killed a bazillion of you guys. So you anticipated some form of a corporate level retaliatory response against your person. There is indeed a curious line of reasoning. And I must tell you that unlike your typical backstreet syndicates such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle and the combat mouse held under the tutelage of a great potter of the Middle. These two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. The heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Through serums, hypnotic suggestions, electrical shocks, and stimulations, and of course procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCU department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Give her some push and bring it along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LC had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. I should even say to persuade her. I was still caught in thought when someone quite unexpectedly made her way to Kira. Yoshide? You got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he got through me too. That's why he did exactly that, to aim for the enemy's hand. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrifice ain't a thing in a family. Family? Coming from him, a middle mud thrown out of his camel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's thrown out. That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up badly. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he would disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising is the ST for the ball guard too. Same days? Oh, young Ryoshi. Could it be that also does a harbor a passionate seal for I quickly clap a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly channeled into the conversation. So what exactly is your point? The point is, you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. CQ or I'll sing right this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. SYNC isn't such a bad way to go. If you're keen on taking that loyalty, act straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll tell you that's what you want so bad. That actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive, the ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshide, what's up with you talking in weirdness abbreviations? Like SYNC, that's so random. Who even says that? Ryushu didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? To her, well, we're probably the people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clark. They even confiscated her book. You'd think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this trade that she would bite us. Besides, better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's cause Papa was bigger than y'all. Huh. Yeah, you're the Jerry's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the mat with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who'd been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come, you will find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. You won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. I gotta learn how to talk slowly sometimes. Seriously, I think I understand it when people in real life kept saying that I spoke too fast. Yeah, I can definitely understand it right now. Because goddamn, this is tiring me. We got our battle, huh? Luckily, we still cannot deploy Gregor. Well, figures.
내 작품 또 보고 싶었나 봐.
I wonder. Yep, that doesn't exist. This one though does exist.
소재가 준비됐어?
나를 점 찍었다면
이 떨림. 파시아도.
녹슨 총에 날카롭지 않은 화살초.
투입 준비는 항상 되어 있습니다. 투입 준비.
차! 의뢰로군.
말뚝을 명령이라면
드디어
내가 움직여야 하나?
Yeah, good enough.
잘 됐네.
Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Who is he? Who among those people dare be? From W Corp? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company? So, is that what the W Corp stands for? I mean, wait, hold on. Wayfarer Company? Thank you for asking that question, Dante. A corporate entity partnered with LIMBUS Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has on prior occasion had been referred to as the new or aspirant W or the aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees also have taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember. That company fighting to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon is probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free falling at this point. And these are the manager and sitters of the LCB department, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters for SAM. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name is Alan, leader of Doorbridge Team 4. Likewise. Before Foss could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking into a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of LIMBUS Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. You know, this color scheme, it reminds me of Voltec, to be honest. Oh yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public, but what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. We also look forward to working with you on this NAS. Hey, that's not at all what I said. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Rose didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. She quickly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He's referring to the monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCP at the express request of Mr. Hubert, the Corp's executive director. Oh, that's how the rumor spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now, I understand you will be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a slave for information that she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo in his room. I mean, I've seen Albina here at that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but... Farm? No, it's, gathering materials. I see. What kind of material? Human gas and all that. She would come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some backstreets area. The backstreets. Any more details? Can you stop prying? Your low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally all I got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what had happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Whoa, hold up, what? I thought Kira was able not to touch a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard, it was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact, the chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. He just hit me. What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Now, what manner of discourtesy is this? With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team Leader Alan, that sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is in mine. Should I see it happen again? Do you understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay? My apologies. I will keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood there without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. He gets a sock me in the face and walk off scot-free. So freaking annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. At once just now though, what was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. General Ryoshu, give Manager Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring protectors. The other two on the left. I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But I have no idea where they actually lead. It's all blurry. It seems that all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. There is already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping process. Which means there's less of a chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then, I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the ones in the Ryoshu mentioned. You don't trust me at all, do you? Do ya? Then why even bring me along? You don't get us scared. Alan began setting various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Are thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Yes, this once. There are procedures for handling over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. What? Is this some kind of wildlife exhibit? This looks kind of familiar, though I have no idea where. The moment we stepped in, the light hit us all at once, throwing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermied animals. Yeah, this almost looks like a bogey. Almost. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit! The scale is just insane. That's the whale from Egg Association Great League Special Issue. Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one shot. Solo one shots this monster with that harpoon bisa. It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've been encountering though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified. Outskirts spawn. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're not. The WOAAAAH did say that the ring has disease where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here is dead. Still looks crazy sick though, the vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira keeps sneaking glances at the massive 4 display off at the side, clearly surprised in a way that she couldn't hide. That's it. I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity given the presence of a certain someone in another party. Don Quixote? The eyes of a second kindred of House... What? Second kindred of House Tipis. At the mention of the word kindred, I could help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another exhibit. Great items leading on the more gruesome side of things. Crimson eyeball, the gun. This one? It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan, we'll be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Well, crap. That presence, it's kinda like Papa's. Ain't no way, that's not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As the action is taken, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. And the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? You. Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, right? A wolf, if memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey. And the predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling. Isabel, that maestro's whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon, raising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? Which Benoit? That is right. Emile Benoit. And they say you cannot hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still as sly as a raven, unlike your numerous fathers. Don't pursue. I only remember you because that's blah. Cannot expect haste. Any suggestions that involves removing her shoes will not be dignified by a serious discussion. Thank you, Foss. Is that? Please don't use the Arayashiki Roshu, please not. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm serious at this or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Leigham and do as she did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right, that's probably our best shot. This floor of exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that shows the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Faultism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without unnecessary fight if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here. A masterless one at that. Acquiring the Arayashiki makes it worth the cost. If you wanna taste... Good job, Araya. Good job. My original burger exists, so why can I throw the plate? Now that's unexpected. How this did you? As an incident, deadly right on the sleep scales. I for one, who particularly like you would have jaw in the spine. What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask. What better way to claim this delivery promising material with a single bed than a work of art fashioned from a snake? Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Oh shit. Was Kira. Oh, thank you, Kira. Struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her steel sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? shit, this wasn't the plan at all. Obviously not, she couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than utter regret. The middle. For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos under yourself. Aha! You must be the new kid Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fuck if I know. I'm already regretting this, alright? Damn it, they're gonna teach me here. What did I even... Shut up, Ezra, quit yapping and let me use my blades. Press it ready, lifting logs now. This is a foul justice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow the glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned fixers have displayed through the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed an arm with her full might. Slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will salute door immediately upon your exit. You don't just stand there, get over here now. But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I QTTM. One ticket cliff and a half again. You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay. So what are we fighting here instead? Yeah, I guess so. Ready for your old exit adventure? I Otis am prepared to answer your call, but then for then whatever. Hang on, I just need to finish this fight. Everyone to me. Oh my god. Right, let's move on. Oh, Kira is actually fighting. Oh, we're releasing Malkut. Oh, see, the House of Spiders middle the fingers. So what's the passive? Middle style is struck. Oh, Kira. Right, let's go then.
조여목구를 달고 볼까?
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지.
Please don't go for it.
이만하면 불리겠군.
Oh, that's Kira. Good, Kira. Very good. She still calls other attacks. That's cute. And this is no problem.
곧 끝장낼 수 있을 것 같은데 소강자들로 효율적인 마무리를 명령하시는지.
Oh, come on, really?
아이씨, 짜증나게.
Bro, seriously? Yep, indeed, bro, seriously. The for the shame.
모범적인 청소 방식을 확인했습니다. 인사부서에 해당 요원에
What's the
대한
name?
평가를
What's the name of that
추진합니다.
skeleton?
알립니다. 상황이 통제될 가능성이 지속적으로 상승하고 있습니다.
Female
요원 여러분들은
overpainting.
분투하시어
Expression of
빠른
primary
사태
powers.
진화에 협조하시길
The
부탁드립니다.
focusing. The shaman brutal. The person crimson under your skin. Right.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군.
Go, 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 go. Violet breaking slam.
방법이지.
바이올렛.
Genesis the violet bar. Nice one, Marcel. Nice one.
확실히 훌륭하군. 5번 수감자. 덕분에 위험한 순간도 넘어간
아이씨,
적.
짜증나게.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요. 딴테 적합한 조치였습니다.
Again, as usual, I really like the music of this game. As usual. That's nice, Tom. That's very nice.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
태어난 곳으로 돌아가라.
Nice one, Ryoshi. Good kill.
살고자 하는
Magnificent
모든
end.
것들과 함께 무덤으로 돌아가라.
워프 열차 연산 시스템이 정리 방식의 선택이 적절한 것을 판단했습니다. 훌륭합니다.
예술을.
골치 아픈 것들이
전부
고기
녹여서
조각이
썰어버려도
되었군요.
상관없지?
딴테 나쁘지 않은 성과입니다.
That's not it.
영감이 떠올랐어요.
Well, we have no source of healing, apparently. Well, crap. Guess I'll just wing it like usual.
펜.
Well, that was easy enough. It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. So this nature won't be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you were gonna trust me? Weirdos. We would have opened them. We would have opened them all at the end of the day. SD. SD, what's that? Same difference. Again, why shouldn't it like that? Just say duh or something. Just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's WA. That's what. What? Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first tour of an expedition without any casualties was under 15%. This by all measures counts as a flawless expedition. The Swampis won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the register of luck. And for the Swampis beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to be concerned yourself so much. Even if that were the case, it's unlikely they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. Even the Fomvis Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. This is... I swear, next time I got to stream at an earlier time. Let's see, I'll give myself 1 more hour, I suppose. Is it the new Skybird's fault? Usually with the shit it's so irritated from. That's when I felt a faint vibration. The plate was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering was faint. It was seen by all indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshi's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memories of Araya? Ryoshi, is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted plate? Which is it? She's enjoying this, isn't she? It's probably neither of those, nor is it is a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Are you going to examine Araya here? Please don't.
모처럼 괜찮은 예술을 보나 했더니 벌써 애를 전부 채웠군. 방지할 사고도 해야 할 뒤처리도 없나.
Relics and the sign. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by LIMBUS Company following Operation Spider Empire. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of similar number of a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of scenery number 11 sign and the manifestation of possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him. the same people who had dragged them off earlier were clear. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sailors who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Code 9, how long will the examination take? The Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded the analyzer's device should be available for the relic now, which means that it should be finished in an hour from now at the latest. So, the scammer rattled again at a mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. It's moving again. Come along, Ryushu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Oh hey, Vespa. Snack thief? Manager. Get on snacks. Mr. String Bean ate up all of them. Sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding. But kick his ass. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Caron also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you will put me in a tough spot. Understood. Caron, super sulky mode engage. Not talking for half a thing. Deploying super best speed again. What are you saying, Virgilius? Deploying super best speed again. Beep beep, not disable. I'm not sure if it's an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Caron forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Just make sure she doesn't listen to the radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Caron painted the snack thief sign of Vespa's back. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute, I was saving that for later. I assume you were being picky. Well, now you know. Did I still see you gobbling up my share? He took my snack too. For kick his ass. You don't have the clearance for that. Rodion Romanovic. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sailor is being funneled into your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the RCU supplies as well. Chill, that's been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's... What did you say? What did she say? She did not just say that. Besides, that's that and... Look one by one the page. Okay, I'll cut it out. Look one by one the pages remind me you'll always be feeling. Okay, that's why I don't sing. The lines of Virgilius bro look deeper than usual today. Betty is inquiring about the outcome of the research of the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Question. Observation of the sign had so far been limited to two individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Foss has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. The same would go with researchers. Even Sonia said only select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of specific examples, rather than the scope. However, sorry, my mouth is full. Sorry. Ow, 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 ow. Belum some superpower future self and just fragmenting. Even Sonia, she's really afraid of not being special, isn't she? Just step in and put an end to the subject before Rodia gets the blues. Yeah, thank you, Dante. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Foss reported back then, right, Sinclair from the future said that each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, you know, those layers of language Damien used the village of Cromer or Samson dragging us into his story this good yet. Aye, that does seem plausible. So none of that information we can confirm yet. Correct. As you have said, discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. This is at best grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are causing for the hypothesis from the vestige left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit by the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the sign working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which these hypotheses may be validated. I see. But nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for that research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway. No, I mean, I'm kidding, just going along with the mood. Bill Sinclair would have even thought to joke around like that. It's really changed lately, for the better, I think. So, did anything happen that we should worry about? Stuck closer to him just in case nothing serious came up. She took some blood, a small skin sample, out, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. It's like list of scraps to remember, or listed sensations, and your memories of that moment have yet to return. Hold up. Here you go again, more of that nonsense only you lot understand. Oi, memory or not, the future guy still came out of him, didn't he? And some part of him's got to be left in there somewhere, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull off some of those tricks from back then. Heard you kicked off Robert out there. Even pulled out that trick you got from that blasted old geezer, right? Not just that, he was using that monk technique quite effortlessly too. What? That glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had two of them called around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing? Why are you three referring to Mang as glowing ring things? But this is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is that glowing ring? Not you two, Rodia. Anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability. I mean, I guess a flashy aura that makes you real tough once part of it. But there's gotta be more, right? I don't know. Could be a secret finger thing they pass on to their members. Techniques, gear, or something like that. Look at it. That Blake Coney leader that Layhem trick, and even the nurse followers that we fought. Whole lot of them's finger in there. The notion seemed to unravel, or even among the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. And for Jellyster? So what? Only the proper hard passers can use it? Some posh top and trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the scars looked on the case of Vergilius and Vespa. I only learned to wield it from my team leader too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. However, what I can spare are some rumors that they are without proper sources. Rumors? They circulate with fixers and association leadership. But there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. Hold up. Oh my god, what is this? Oh yeah, that tracks. That's super if you call him in the latest Mac bonus suite. Bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura farm with a shiny monk. Rather than the weapon aura farm. They are having a lot of fun with this, the translators. Wait, you're serious? It's in the latest issue. Literally on the video tape in the back. Maybe you missed it. Video tape? For many weeks I have been started from Navy, giving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle but the latest one as well. Woe is me when I read international feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. From what I recall, the mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. Wait, hold on. Right. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. And depending on how it's used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego use. You mean to say that it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you like. From what I observe, the first would be a technical result for those of considerable strength. As the yellow harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa Bronze visibly twitched at the moment Yellow Harpoon left Vergilius' legs. If I were to exaggerate, even Sidra Yisang's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. But why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. And let it get to you. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Papa never taught me how to use it. You always said I could get stronger with a stupid crutch like that. Ha! It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such power in the first place. I think you're being too harsh on her. If you want to reduce it to yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal. Closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get uncomfortable because the manager doesn't treat you with lenience. Step out of line, then you will be the one who pays the price. Okay, now I still want to hear about Araya. Wait, hold on. I need to check something. Oh, it actually really isn't that long, but I guess I really have to start streaming earlier than usual, huh? I guess I can do it tomorrow because right now I need to go to sleep before any complications rise, so this stream will be paused here and we shall see each other again in about 20 hours, if possible, I guess. Anyway, that will be all for now. Stream is suspended.